What if I told you that most of what you think is confidence isn't? It's performance. It's noise. It's ego dressed up as strength. But the kind of confidence that never cracks, the kind that stays with you even in silence, even in failure, that's something entirely different. That's the kind the Stoics mastered. They didn't need applause. They didn't chase validation. They built a deeper strength, one rooted in clarity, discipline, and self-respect. In the next few minutes, you'll discover how ancient wisdom can help you build modern confidence. Not the kind that fades when no one's watching, but the kind that stands tall when everything else falls apart. Before we begin, take a moment to subscribe to the channel, so you never miss a chance to grow stronger, wiser, and more resilient. Let's begin. Part 1. A different kind of confidence. When you think of confidence, what comes to mind? Maybe it's someone who speaks boldly, dresses with style, or walks into a room and instantly grabs attention. That's one kind of confidence, but it's not the kind we're here to build. There's another kind. Quieter. More stable. The kind that doesn't disappear when the audience leaves. The kind that doesn't rely on constant praise or attention. That's the kind of confidence the Stoics built. The Stoics, philosophers like Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, and Seneca, lived over 2,000 years ago. Yet, the challenges they faced, stress, failure, rejection, uncertainty, were not so different from ours. They learned that the most reliable confidence isn't loud. It doesn't come from being admired. It comes from living in harmony with your principles, from knowing you can handle whatever comes your way. That's what this video is about. Not fake confidence. Not ego. But something real. Something unshakable. Part 2. Why we feel so insecure today. Let's be honest, most people today struggle with self-esteem. Even the people who look confident on the outside, often feel insecure inside. Why is that? Because we live in a world that constantly asks us to prove ourselves. We're surrounded by social media, constant comparisons, and pressure to perform. You scroll online and see people who look more successful, more attractive, more accomplished. And without even realizing it, you begin to wonder, am I good enough? That's not your fault. You've been trained to look outward for validation, to let the world tell you who you are. But here's what the Stoics realized: if you let other people determine your worth, you'll always be a prisoner to their opinions. You'll always be chasing approval. The solution? To stop measuring your value based on others, and start anchoring it in something internal. This shift changes everything. Part 3. The power of focusing on what you can control. One of the first things the Stoics taught was this: some things are within your control. And some things are not. This may sound simple. But it's a life-changing idea. Think about it. You can't control other people's moods. You can't control the weather. You can't control your past mistakes. But here's what you can control: how you speak to others. What you choose to focus on. What you say to yourself when things go wrong. This is called the dichotomy of control, and it's one of the central principles of Stoic philosophy. When you give your energy only to what you can influence, you feel powerful. When you waste your energy worrying about what's out of your hands, you feel anxious, helpless, and weak. Confidence comes from knowing that no matter what happens around you, you control your response. This is how you become strong, even when life feels chaotic. Try this. Next time you're stressed or frustrated, stop and ask yourself: is this within my control? If yes, act. If no, let it go. Over time, this builds deep, unshakable confidence. Part 4. Where true self-worth comes from. Many people today measure their self-worth by what they have or how others treat them. They think, if I look good, have money, or get compliments, then I'm worthy. But the Stoics knew that this kind of worth is fragile. Because all those things, money, beauty, approval, can disappear. So they based their self-worth on something more solid, virtue. Virtue means your values, your choices, your character. It means asking, did I act with honesty? Did I show discipline? Was I patient, fair, and kind? If the answer is yes, you have every reason to feel confident. Even if no one claps for you. Even if no one sees it. Seneca, one of the greatest Stoics, said, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, that is poor." This means that true richness, true confidence, comes from being satisfied with your own inner life. So stop chasing the world's approval. Build a life that you respect. That's where real self-esteem is born. Part 5. Building an internal scorecard. Every day, we are judged by others. People form opinions about how we look, how we speak, how we act. And most of us have been taught to care about those opinions. A lot. But here's the problem, when you try to please everyone, you lose yourself. The Stoics offered a solution. They said, don't let other people's standards become your measure of success. Instead, use what's called an internal scorecard. This means that you decide what matters. You decide what success looks like. Ask yourself, would I admire someone else who did what I did today? Did I act with integrity, even if it was hard? When you live according to your own values, not the shifting opinions of others, you become deeply confident. Because your worth no longer changes based on the outside world. It's anchored within. Part 6. Turning struggles into strength. No one gets through life without pain. We all face disappointment, loss, failure. But what separates the strong from the weak is how they respond to those moments. The Stoics had a phrase, amor fati. It means, love your fate. Not just accept it, but love it. Even the hard parts. Why? Because they believe that every difficulty is a chance to grow. When something painful happens, instead of saying, why me, say, this is an opportunity to become wiser, braver, stronger. That mindset transforms your pain into purpose. It doesn't mean life will be easy. It means you won't waste your suffering. This is how you become someone who walks through the fire, and comes out stronger. Part 7. A Stoic Way to Overcome Fear. Most people avoid thinking about bad things. They're afraid of loss, failure, embarrassment, and so they pretend those things won't happen. But the Stoics did something very different. They imagined the worst-case scenario, on purpose. This practice is called negative visualization. They would ask, what if I lost my job? What if I was rejected? What if today was my last day? Why would they do this? Because it trains your mind. It prepares you. And most importantly, it reminds you of what truly matters. When you face your fears in your mind, they lose power over you. You begin to realize, even if those things happened, you could still choose how to respond. You could still stand tall. And that realization is a quiet, powerful form of confidence. Part 8. Daily habits that build real confidence. Confidence isn't a personality trait. It's a daily discipline. Here are 3 powerful habits you can start right now. 1. Begin each morning with intention. Don't just rush into your day. Ask, what kind of person do I want to be today? What values will I live by? Set your direction, before the world sets it for you. 2. Practice voluntary discomfort. Do something small each day that's a little uncomfortable. Take a cold shower. Go for a walk without your phone. Speak the truth, even when it's scary. These small challenges build inner strength. 3. End the day with reflection. At night, ask yourself, what did I do well today? Where can I grow tomorrow? This simple habit keeps you honest, and helps you improve each day. Confidence grows in silence, in reflection, in small courageous choices repeated over time. Part 9. Words to guide you. Let these timeless words settle deep in your mind. Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one. Marcus Aurelius. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. No man is free who is not master of himself. Epictetus. He who is brave is free. Seneca. It is not things that disturb us, but our opinions about them. Epictetus. These aren't just quotes. They are daily reminders of who you can become. Part 10. The new foundation of your confidence. You don't need to be perfect to be powerful. You don't need to be loud to be respected. You don't need anyone's permission to live with purpose. Start small. Live by your values. Focus on what you can control. Face your fears, even briefly, each day. Reflect. Grow. Improve. This is the Stoic way, not to impress others, but to become someone you deeply admire. And when you do that, you don't just feel confident. You become unshakable.